Oh, baby, baby, it's time to free Britney. There's my terrible Britney impersonation. Everyone's talking about Free Britney, but today we are going to do a business coach reacts to Free Britney video because honestly, I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned about protecting our brand, about understanding what's going on inside of our contracts, and never putting ourselves in a position where we are out of control because we just don't understand what our rights are. In addition, we're going to talk about just what are some of the business lessons that we can learn. And so we are going to react to the Britney Spears testimony. I know you've heard all the gossip, but have you heard all the business? I'm Amy Walker. I'm a small business strategist and coach. And on my channel, we help you find the simplest ways to consistently find your dream clients. And we focus on learning about business in a fun way. So if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you come back, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. All right, let's dive in to this Britney Spears conundrum. I have to tell you, I actually would not consider myself a major Britney Spears fan. She came out while I was in Russia. And when I came home, I was like, what happened to Bush and Beck, and who is Britney Spears? So I'm not like a huge Britney fan, but honestly, you don't have to be a huge Britney fan to realize like she has got the bum end of a terrible deal. So let's dive in.
Half of the time in the studio and half of the other time in a Westlake studio. I was basically directing most of the show with my whereabouts, where I preferred to rehearse and actually did most of the choreography, meaning I taught my dancers my new choreography myself. I take everything I do very seriously. There's tons of video with me at rehearsals. I wasn't good. I was great. I led a room of 16 new dancers in rehearsals. It's funny to hear my manager's side of the story. They all said I wasn't participating in rehearsals and I never agreed to take my medication, which my medication is only taken in the mornings, never at rehearsal. They don't even see me. So why are they even claiming that? When I said no to one dance move into rehearsals, it was as if I planted a huge bomb somewhere. And I said, no, I don't want to do it this way. After that, my management and my dancers and my assistant of the new people that were supposed to do the new show all went into a room, shut the door, and didn't come out for at least 45 minutes. Ma'am, I'm not here to be anyone's slave. I can say no to a dance move. I was told by my, at the time, therapist, Dr. Benson, who died, that my manager called him in that moment and told him I wasn't cooperating or following the guidelines in rehearsals. And he also said I wasn't taking my medication, which is so dumb because I've had the same lady every morning for the past 8 years give me my same medication, and I'm nowhere near these stupid people. It made no sense at all. There was a week period where they were nice to me and they said, I don't want to do, and I told them I don't want to do the, they were nice to me. They said, if I don't want to do the new Vegas show, I don't have to, because I was getting really nervous. I said, I can wait. It was like, they told me I could wait. It was like lifting literally 200 pounds off of me when they said I don't have to do in the show anymore, because I was really, really hard on myself and it was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. So I remember telling my assistant, but you know what? I feel weird if I say no. I feel like they're going to come back and be mean to me or punish me or something. 3 days later, after I said no to Vegas, my therapist sat me down in a room and said he had a million phone calls about how I was not cooperating in rehearsals and I haven't been taking my medication. All of this.
So you guys, I hadn't really heard this testimony before. And I have to say, this is actually really kind of heartbreaking to listen to this. It is, you know, it's one thing to be able to put up healthy boundaries. And I think that's why a lot of us go into business, is because we want to be able to create healthy boundaries for ourselves. Most often what I see in business is we are the ones that are like, it's us against us. So in this situation, it's really Britney against a bunch of other people, but I see in entrepreneurship all the time, it's us against us. So like your inner voice is saying, don't do that thing. Say no to that speaking gig. You're tired, you're exhausted, you can't do one more thing. But the words out of your mouth are like, oh yeah, we'll do it. And I think the thing that motivates us is exactly what's going on in motivating the people around Britney, is they're worried that if she doesn't continue to show up consistently, I mean, she's She started her career when she was 16 and she's like 40 now, I think. So there's such a short window in her industry to be successful that I think they're all worried she's going to miss the window and they have to keep milking it for everything that they can right now. I see entrepreneurs do this with themselves all the time. And so while, like from an outside perspective, this is horrible, as I'm listening to it through a business coach lens, what I'm seeing is the internal struggle that we do on a regular basis.
All of this was a false. He immediately the next day put me on lithium out of nowhere. He took me off my normal meds I'd been on for 5 years. And lithium is a very, very strong and completely different medication compared to what I was used to. You can go mentally impaired if you take too much, if you stay on it longer than 5 months. But he put me on that and I felt drunk. I really couldn't even take up for myself. I couldn't even have a conversation with my mom or dad really about anything. I told them I was scared and my doctor had me on 6 different nurses with this new medication come to my home, stay with me to monitor me on this new medication, which I never wanted to be on to begin with. There were 6 different nurses in my homes and they wouldn't let me get in my car to go anywhere for a month. Not only did my family not do a goddamn thing, my dad was all for it. Anything that happened to me had to be approved by my dad. And my dad he acted like he didn't know that I was told I had to be tested over the Christmas holidays before they sent me away when my kids went home to Louisiana. He was the one who approved all of it. My whole family did nothing. Over the 2-week holiday, a lady came into my home for 4 hours a day, sat me down and did a psych test on me. It took.
Okay, so working with family. Let's talk about working with family. If you've been following my channel, you know that I actually do work with family. I work with my husband. Occasionally I hire my kids for projects. I also work with my older sister, which is interesting because when you have an older sister and a younger sister, that's an interesting dynamic. Let's just say that. But she is great and we work really well together. However, working with family is really hard. And in general, it gets too clouded. I think sometimes you'll find that you bring the work problems into the home problems and vice versa, and the motivations can get really blurred. Am I saying this because it's what's right for you, or am I saying this because it's what's right for business and for the brand? And so in general, working together, I don't recommend it for most of your family members. In fact, I only will work with family members that I know I could fire and our relationship would still be fine. So I have had family members apply to work with me and I've said no, and I've just said, I have a rule that I won't hire anyone that I couldn't also fire, and I just don't feel like I could ever fire you. So we're not going to go down that path. So I think you have to be really, really careful when you're mixing business and family. It's not always easy.
Forever. But I was told I had to then, after that I got off, I was told I had to then, after I got a phone call from my dad saying, after I did the psych test with this lady, basically saying I had failed the test or whatever. I'm sorry, Brittany, you have to listen to your doctors. They are planning to send you to a small home in Beverly Hills to do a small rehab program that we're going to make up for you. You're going to pay $60,000 a month for this. I cried on the phone for an hour and he loved every minute of it. The control he had over someone as powerful as me, as he loved the control to hurt his own daughter 100,000%. He loved it. I packed my bags and went to that place. I worked 7 days a week, no days off, which in California, the only similar thing to this is called sex trafficking, making anyone work against their will, taking all their possessions away, credit card, cash, phone, passport card, and placing them in a home where they work with the people who live with them. They all lived in the house with me, the nurses, the 24/7 security. There was one chef that came there and cooked for me daily during the weekdays. They watched me changed every day, naked, morning, noon, and night. My body, I had no privacy door for my room. I gave 8 gallons of blood a week. If I didn't do any of my meetings and work from 8 to 6 at night, which is 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, no days off, I wouldn't be able to see my kids or my boyfriend. I never had a say in my schedule. They always told me I had to do this. And ma'am, I will tell you, after I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy, it's a lie. I thought I said that enough. Maybe I might become happy because I've been in denial. I've been in shock. I am traumatized,
Oh, you guys, this really rings true. How often as entrepreneurs and business owners do we put on the smile and pretend like we have it all together and we have it all figured out and that we are just going to, fake it till we make it? You can have a lot of money coming into your business and still be miserable if the experience is not like actually healthy for you.
Fake it till you make it. But now I'm telling you the truth, okay? I'm not happy. I can't sleep. I'm so angry, it's insane, and I'm depressed. I cry every day, and the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't think how the state of California can have all this written in the court documents from the time I showed up and do absolutely nothing, just hire with my money another person to keep my dad on board. Ma'am, my dad and anyone involved in this conservatorship and my management who played a huge role in punishing at me when I said, no, ma'am, they should be in jail. Their cool tactics working for Miley Cyrus as she smokes on joints and stage at the VMAs. Nothing is ever done to this generation for doing wrong things. But my precious body, who's worked for my dad for the past fucking 13 years, trying to be so good and pretty, so perfect when he works me so hard, when I do everything I'm told in the state of California, allowed my ignorant father to take his own daughter, who only has a role with me if I work with him. They set back the whole course and allowed him to do that to me. That's giving these people I've worked for way too much control. They also threatened me and said, if I don't go, then I have to go to court. And it will be more embarrassing me if the judge publicly makes go the evidence we have. You have to go. I was advised for my image, I need to go ahead and just go and get it over with. They said that to me. I don't even drink alcohol. I should drink alcohol considering what they've put my heart through. Also, the Bridges facility they sent me to, none of the kids, I was doing this program for 4 months. So the last 2 months I went to a Bridges facility. None of the kids there did the program. They never showed up for any of them. You didn't have to do anything if you didn't want to. How come they always made me go? How come I was always threatened by my dad and anybody that participated in this conservatorship? If I don't do this, what they tell me to enslave me to do, they're going to punish me. The last time I spoke to you by just keeping the conservatorship going and also keeping my dad in the loop made me feel like I was dead, like I didn't matter, like nothing had been done to me, like you thought I was lying or something. I'm telling you again because I'm not lying. I want to feel heard. And I'm telling you this again so maybe you can understand the depth and the degree and the damage that they did to me back then. I want changes and I want changes going forward. I deserve changes. I was told I have to sit down and be evaluated again if I want to end the conservatorship. Ma'am, I didn't know I could petition the conservatorship to end it. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I honestly didn't know that.
Okay, that one is shocking to me, that she didn't know that she had the right to end the conservatorship. To me, like, this is a screaming, really loud reminder that we need to understand the legal side of our businesses. Sometimes we tend to avoid the legal side and we tend to avoid the financial side because it's outside of our zone of understanding. It's outside of our zone of genius. And it feels a little scary and intimidating. But oh my gosh, you guys, so much of her pain and trauma could have been stopped had she understood her legal rights. Now, this whole thing doesn't make any sense because I've been through the process of going through legal conservatorship and trying to get that in place for my grandmother who had dementia and was incapable of taking care of herself. And even then, she had to approve it. And there were so many steps that went along the way. I don't even understand legally how this all happened. It's crazy to me. And the amount of money that she has been paying out for other people to control her brand is absolutely insane. So I hope that they are able to come to a good resolution. I just think at this point, like, she's a grown woman. Maybe she's not perfect. Maybe she has mental health challenges, but how many people with mental health challenges are out there still making their own decisions, right? So that is all very, very crazy. When it comes to protecting your brand, it's so important that you make sure that the people who you're hiring to be with you are there for your vision, not that they have their own vision that they are trying to insert on your brand. I think that's a big part of what is driving all of this insanity and what they're expecting of her is they want something different from her brand than what she wants. This is why in my hiring and my training, onboarding, all of it, even in our regular ongoing meetings, we're frequently going over what's my vision, what are my values, what is the message in my voice that I want, because everybody on the team should be supporting that. That's what you want from your team. It doesn't mean that they can't have ideas that are in, out of alignment with yours, and maybe they come together, maybe they don't. But at the end of the day, do your people really support you, or do they have a different agenda and they want something because it's good for them? And my last big thing with this is, and I know there's more time in here, but I feel like I've heard enough to be like, this is crazy, and now I'm just hearing more of the crazy. So my last thing with this is, I really think it's so important that you understand your rights. Like, you have got to understand the legal side of your business. Don't abdicate any of that. Delegate it, yes. Delegate, get a great attorney, get a great accountant, get somebody who watches the numbers and advises you, but don't abdicate it to the point where you don't know what's going on, because that is a surefire way for people to come in and take control that they did not earn. You guys, she earned this money. It's insane to me that she has been forced to work and then pay everyone else's salaries who is forcing her to work. That is just crazy. So I feel like the lessons in here for us as small business owners is, we have got to set the boundaries. We need to make sure that we don't feel, I shouldn't be listening to this story and in any way relating to it, because I've never had this situation. But as I'm listening to her story, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I was that person in my own life. So don't be that person. And I just hope that things work out here, because this is a crazy story. I would love to hear from all of you in the comments below. What do you think of the Free Britney and how she's going to get her brand back? I know she's talking about retiring, but honestly, I wonder if she still has some love in there and just doesn't love the way that it's been done before. So what are your thoughts? Love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you want to see more Business Coach Reacts videos, go check out some of the other videos in the playlist. My personal favorite is the Tommy Boy video. What lessons can we learn from sales with Tommy Boy? Thanks you guys so much for being here. Have a great one.